Hello and welcome to our English news coming to you from Canal. First, the main headlines of the news. The 2025 IATF wind-ups with record figures denoting the success of this major economic get-together levels, turning Algiers into an important continental trade hub. Algeria tops the continent in terms of concluded deals, opening new prospects for the national companies to conquer the African continent. And the Zionist war machinery keeps bombing Gaza and compelling Palestinians to flee their homes despite their attachment to their country. Welcome back. First in our news, Algiers has just hosted the most successful inter-African trade fair to date, an edition hailed as historic, breaking attendance, participation and business records while reaffirming Algeria's role as a driving force for Africa's future. Melissa Lila Balaban.
The intra-African trade fair in Algiers exceeded all forecasts and broke every record, closing with what many described as a historic success. Held under the theme, A Gateway to New Opportunities, the fair was inaugurated by the President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, who underlined Algeria's role as a driving force in Africa's transformation and a defender of nations seeking development and sovereignty. He reiterated Algeria's commitment to a strong, united and prosperous Africa, able to claim its full place on the global stage. In this spirit, the Algiers edition set new benchmarks. Nearly 112,500 visitors were registered, more than 3 times the target, with 60,000 attending in person. The previous edition had drawn only 28,000. A record 20 heads of state and government also took part, compared to 8 in 2023. On the economic side, 2,184 exhibitors joined, including 1,923 on site and 225 remotely. The number of buyers reached 987, well above the 750 expected. This fourth edition gathered 49 African countries and 21 from outside the continent, reinforcing the IATF's role as a global hub for partnerships. A record 132 official delegations also came to Algiers. Exhibitors praised the organization, calling it proof of Algeria's commitment to the continent and its drive to deepen ties with African partners. IATF 2025 has pushed us forward. The results I've already seen are very positive. I was touched by the warmth of the Algerians. Thank you for this great opportunity. I hope to see you again in 2 years in Nigeria. It was enriching and rewarding. I'll certainly return to Algeria. At the Palais des Expositions in Paris-Maritime, the curtain fell on what will be remembered as the largest, most attended, and most fruitful edition of the IATF's creation. For Algeria, with billions in contracts signed, the outcome was a resounding success.
Still with the same event, IATF 2025 wound up on record high, with Algeria emerging as the star performer. National companies secured over $11.4 billion in deals, nearly a quarter of the $48 billion signed across the continent, confirming Algeria as Africa's new business capital. Melissa Lila Balaman once again.
The curtain has fallen on IATF 2025, a resounding success for Algerian companies that shone at this record-breaking fourth edition. With more than $11.4 billion in contracts signed, Algeria secured nearly a quarter of all deals, out of a continental total exceeding $48.3 billion. This performance highlights both the expansion of Algerian firms across Africa and the rise of a diversified economy able to compete across sectors. On the investment side, Suwaidi Electric announced $2.5 billion to set up an industrial base in Algeria, along with a €100 million export deal for equipment to Côte d'Ivoire. In steel, SNS signed protocols worth $950 million, while Algerian Qatar Steel will export $420 million in products to African markets. In energy and electrics, GSB Electric secured a $480 million deal with Ivorian firm Sogelux to supply West Africa. The industrial and mechanical sector also gained traction. Local vehicle production agreements with Bake Algeria, Sherry Algeria, and Faux Trucks will channel hundreds of millions of dollars into components, batteries, and spare parts. In agribusiness, Agrolog partnered with Uganda's Abrasi to process cocoa and coffee in a $200 million deal. Tafadis will export 360,000 tons of refined sugar to Libya for $120 million, while Label signed a $200 million agreement to expand into East Africa. Electronics are also heading abroad. Condor closed an $80 million agreement to supply 6 African countries, while Inatel and Chinese partner Morefon will produce 2 million payment terminals for Niger in a $300 million contract. In energy, Sonatrach signed a memorandum of understanding with Kenya's NOC to develop exploration and supply LPG and petroleum products. In all, a wide range of agreements covered renewables, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, appliances, tourism, and culture, with an additional $11.6 billion in opportunities expected to materialize in the coming months. With this record haul, Algeria has confirmed itself as a central player in intra-African trade. IATF 2025 showcased the country's ability to diversify exports and build lasting partnerships across the continent, cementing Algiers' role as Africa's business capital and a driver of economic integration.
The Afrexim Bank Director General Benedict Omara displayed the readiness of this African body to back energy projects launched by Algeria to boost African economic integration, above all the Trans-Saharan pipeline, gas pipeline and the regional electrical grid. This statement was made during a meeting that brought him with the Energy Minister Mohamed Arqab. Algeria officially joined the African Hydrogen Alliance in the wake of the Global African Hydrogen Summit held in Windhoek, Namibia, a move that goes in line with the national strategy for developing hydrogen and denotes a genuine intention for energy transition towards renewable energies and green hydrogen in Algeria. Pursuant to the guidelines of the President of the Republic meant to boost cement and clinker exports via development of port, acting Prime Minister Sefer Reib chaired on Thursday a ministerial meeting attended by the Finance, the Foreign Trade and Public Works, Transport ministers, in addition to the governor of the Bank of Algeria and the economic operators acting in the domain of exporting cement, after reviewing a report on the current situation of port meant by this operation as well as the concerns of the economic operators. A series of immediate and practical measures were taken to accompany the process of exporting cement and clinker in the short term, with a view to rationalizing the exploitation of the available infrastructure so as to increase the storage capacity and have a good command of logistics costs. Other proposals are being discussed for a better volume of export in the medium term. Algeria is restricting its foreign trade with the creation of 2 new distinct bodies, the first dedicated to import, taking in charge the needs of the national markets via digital platform linked with monitoring systems, and the second, namely the Algerian body of exports, with the main objective that of promoting international sales via a digital platform as well, and abroad representations known as Dar al Jazair. These reforms took an official form after being published in the official gazette, including the 2 decrees accompanying the dissolution of the former agency Algex, that the means and personnel of which will be transferred to the new body. To the international news, and during an emergency meeting held by the UN Security Council and devoted to the Middle East region after the Zionist strikes on Doha, Qatar, Algiers' permanent representative Ammar Ben Jama called on the UN Security Council to shoulder its responsibility to save the region and the entire world. Let's have a listen to him.
This very council remains constrained, unable even to name the aggressor, to qualify aggression as a violation of international law. Mr. President, when will the international community awaken to its responsibilities? When will it deter the occupier? When will it halt the crimes and curb this reckless escalation threatening the entire region? The region, and indeed the world, demand meaningful action. Action to end aggression. Action to hold the occupying power accountable. Action to break the cycle of impunity. This Council must use all its tools, including sanctions, before it is too late.
Amar Pajama speaking at the UN emergency meeting. As Gaza faces relentless bombardment and forced displacement, over 1 million Palestinians are being pushed south in a calculated campaign to empty the city. Despite the destruction, Gazans cling to what remains of their homes, defying attempts to turn the neighborhood into ghost towns. Melissa Lila Balama gives us the latest developments in the region.
The Zionist occupation continues to intensify its military operations, relying on heavy bombardment and psychological warfare to push over 1 million Palestinians into forced displacement toward the south. This is a clearly defined plan to empty Gaza of its residents, turning it into a ghost city, repeating the destruction seen in Rafah and Khan Yunis as a precursor to taking control of the remaining areas of the Strip. We're trapped. Where are we supposed to go? We are holding on. There's nothing else we can do with the hunger and torment we're going through. At the peak of the assault on Gaza, dozens of residential towers were reduced to rubble and smoke in just a few days. Meanwhile, airstrikes continue to rain down across both the northern and southern part of the city. Yet, despite this relentless destruction, Gaza's residents hold on to their city more firmly than ever, defying the policies of bombing and forced displacement, and insisting they will remain on their land, no matter how intense the attacks. Neither the south nor the north is safe today. People left and returned, saying, whatever happens, it is God's will. The Zionist occupation continues to push Gaza's population southward, claiming these areas are safe, even as they face constant bombardment and death. The occupiers claim these areas are safe zones, yet they are completely devoid of basic necessities: no food, no water, no health care, and no schools. My neighbor started from Sabra, gathered his family and moved south, hoping for safety and humanity. He set up the tent. Next thing we know, he was brought, him and his children, wrapped in shrouds. No matter the bombardment, no matter the forced displacement, Gaza's people remain unbroken. Their roots, their history, and their claim to the land cannot be erased. They will stay steadfast and defiant on the land that is theirs by right.
Sports now. ES City defeated CS Constantine with 2-1 as part of the fourth week of the National Football Championship. The second game, bringing ES Mustaganem to MB reset, ended in 1-1 draw. Let's follow the highlights of these two games.
للمرور يتمكن غور صعبة خطيرة الغول يا سلام صعبة أول أهداف المباراة لمصلحة النادي الرياضي القسنطيني. في تشكيلة الوفاق هناك بوبكر، هناك جانيد بداء العقوبة. هاي لا كرة، يا سلام، زروقي يلعب كرة، بوتشيشا يوسع كرة داخل منطقة العمليات، من هناك بالراس ترجع لدفاع لامبير. هنا الخطأ، هنا فرصة الهدف الأول. يقبل الهدية ولا يهدر الفرصة للمباراة. الكرة لعبت، تحولت إلى مستقبل الوساد. هنا الخطأ وهنا الهدف. التعادل يأتي عن طريق المدافع ضد مرماه. هنا بنزيد، وهنا صافرة الحكم صحراوي تعلن عن نهاية هذه المباراة.
And with sports, we come to the end of our news bulletin. Tomorrow, another day, other news. Keep tuning to our channel programs. Check out. Bye-bye for now.